This is a really nice mesquite that's just now beginning to take on a nice structure. And by nice structure, I mean that the lower limbs are all subordinate to the upper crown. So the lower limbs are making this nice lower crown. When we first arrived at this mesquite about 5 years ago, we've pruned it 2 times since then. This is the 3rd time. When we first arrived, there was none of this inner green crown. The tree had none of it. And trees, especially mesquites, have a physiological response to growing long and weak when the inner crown is removed. So there's long and there's long. When that happens, these branches go too far out and way beyond the upper crown. Now 5 years ago, because all that middle had been taken out and the limbs grew long, this limb used to come out over the driveway about to here, and it was starting to go up and dominate. So last time we pruned it, which was about 2 years ago, we brought it down. Same thing with this one. You could see it happening now. These two are nice and low and they're below the upper crown, but we're going to bring this in just a little bit to subordinate it. But when we look out at this one, you can see that it starts to go up. It gets this wing on it. So here it goes out and it starts to get this wing out over here that goes beyond the upper crown. So the goal is to make reduction cuts of all this material here to bring it in to maintain subordinates on this lower limb. It's not that we don't want green material up here. We do. We want green material. We just want it to belong to what is on this main trunk and not what should be the lower limb. Here's that lower limb from a bit better angle where you could see that wing that goes up beyond the rest of the crown. This is the portion that we're going to reduce or subordinate from the upper crown so the upper crown can have more dominance. I'm going to get on to the top of this wing for the purpose of subordinating it from the top of the crown. Remember, this wing belongs to a lower limb. It's on a lower limb that goes to a high place, which is what this wing is. And I'm going to bring this limb down by making reduction cuts. Reduction cuts are cutting leaders back to branches. So we find a branch that can assume the new leader role, and we make a nice cut back to the branch, so that the end result is taking away leverage and weight. This lower limb is now subordinated from the upper crown. It was about right up here, and I've brought it, I don't know, maybe 2.5, 3 feet, so that the upper crown can start to dominate in this area. Remember, it's not that we don't want green material in this space. We do. We just don't want it to belong to what is lower. We want it to belong to main trunk and upper crown. So that's the first benefit, is that the upper crown can start to become dominant. The other benefits of reducing this lower limb is that it immediately becomes less likely to break in the wind. In other words, the wind literally has less leverage over it. And then there's 2 delayed responses that the tree has, or that this limb has, in that we are now buying time for the remainder of this limb to get thicker in diameter and stronger, so that eventually it can grow longer and we won't have any worries over it. Another delayed response is we're hoping that this portion of the tree grows some sprouts or some suckers, because those sprouts are the tree's response to trying to regrow an inner crown that was removed. So we like suckers because they can eventually become the branch to make a reduction cut back to. I'm Angelo with Romeo Tree Service in Tucson. Thank you for watching. To learn more, please visit our website, romeotreeservice.com, where you'll find our video, Mesquites and Palo Verdes, a homeowner's guide.